Hey you guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And today I'm going to answer some of your questions, some requests that I received on my last Peterisms video. I'm loving just like interacting with you guys and having you guys ask me questions in the comment sections or asking me for life experience advice and things like that, or advice just based on my life experience and things that I do in my life and whatnot. It's so much fun for me. I love reading the meditation books, don't get me wrong, but you know, in my personal life I read meditations every single day, so you know, it's not that different for me to get on here. I try to save the Melody Beatty ones for this channel because I don't know like every day if I'm gonna, you know, read on here or not. But I really love like reading your comments and interacting with you guys. It's so much fun for me. So if you have questions, I mean, they can be about anything. The two that I'm going to answer today are so completely different that like from each other, that they're just kind of random. So I think I'm just going to title this video something like, you know, responding to your questions or answering your questions or something like that. But let's get right into it. So if you, like I said, if you have questions, they can be about anything. I mean, anything, okay? Even if it's nothing that I've ever talked about on my channel before, I mean, give it a try. If it's nothing that I relate to, I probably won't pick it and talk about it. If it's something that I have some experience with, and you never know, I mean, there's things I may never have talked about on here before that you ask, and I'm like, oh my God, like that would be such a good video to talk about that, right? And this is kind of one of them, honestly, on here. I got this comment, and somebody said to me, and I don't want to, I don't want to read the names when the people leave me the comments. If you guys want to go under there and read the comments and see who the person is and things like that, like that's your business. But I don't want to read the names of the people. I don't, in case they want to stay somewhat anonymous. So anyway, this person left me a comment and they said, "Hi Peter, I need some advice. I've just recently started talking to a guy I met online, and within 5 days he said he's falling in love with me. I think he is codependent and I want to let him down easy. I don't really want to have any communication with him at all because the level of codependency he is already showing is scaring me. What do I say to him to be gentle but still let him know I can't have any type of relationship with him?" Okay, so I'm laughing because of the first part of the question where they said that they had been talking to him for 5 days. Now, I'm assuming it was like 5 days online and they haven't met this person in person or anything like that. What I'm laughing at is that I'm very much that person, okay? And you know, and maybe it is my own codependent issues, I don't know, you know, but I am somebody that like right out of the gate, like I used to say this, like going on first dates, I could tell you within 10 to 20 minutes on a first date whether I could spend the rest of my life with this person or whether it was a waste of my time. Like literally, like I would be like on a date and I can remember going on, and I'm not a very good dater to begin with because I get bored very easily if I'm not interested in the person. It doesn't take me like 2 hours and 10 dates to be like, oh wow, like, you know, like I want to know more about this person or whatever. I typically can tell like right out of the gate, okay? Like if my feelings, if like the energy is right, I don't know, I have a vibe, a feeling about it that I just have this innate feeling that like, oh, this is somebody that I want to spend a lot of time with or get to know more, or no, I'm not interested at all. Like I know that right away, right? With my husband, and he laughs about this, I think it was about, he says it was about a week, I think it was more like 2 weeks, I told him that I was falling in love with him. And I was, like I had strong love. I'm a lover, okay? I am somebody that says to people, you know, like all my friends, we all say to each other, I love you, and we give each other, you know, big hugs and stuff like that. I'm just a lover. I know there are people that like when I met my husband, he would say, I don't tell somebody that I love them until I've been with them for a year, which I always just think is so funny. It's like, okay, we put this time limit on it. It's not based on a feeling that we have, it's on a time limit, which he actually ended up telling me, I think at 2 months that he was in love with me, which is funny to me because he said it, so I guess I beat the standard of a year. But it was always so funny to me, and he wasn't the only one. You know, I meet so many people and they would say, well, I don't tell somebody I love them until like a year or until this or whatever. I'm like, okay, so loving somebody is based on this. It's not based on a feeling you have inside. My falling in love with somebody or having romantic love for them or having platonic love for somebody is based on a feeling that I have inside of them. You know what I mean? So I will say that. That's why I'm kind of laughing at this. That being said, you know, I don't know that I showed a lot of codependent signs. I think Alex and I both did to some degree with each other, which I think was like, you know, I mean, I've talked a lot about this in videos that we didn't really like do much without the other person for our first couple years together, which ended up being a huge problem in our relationship. One of the reasons why we ended up in marriage counseling. And I think that, you know, one of the things I can remember was like, my past relationship, when we want to talk about carrying baggage into relationships, you know, this was something that I didn't necessarily see as baggage or bad. It was just kind of the way I did things. We spent so much time together. Like if we weren't working and I wasn't like at a meeting or with Tanya, I was with my ex, right? And so when I got into the relationship with Alex, that's kind of how I thought it was supposed to be, which was not how Alex felt like it was supposed to be. And so we spent so much time together. And I can remember one time Alex said to me, "You're not even giving me time to miss you. And like, I want to miss you. And so like, if I'm only missing you while I'm at work or whatever." And I think that's such a vital point, like in retrospect, looking back, like I think it is important to, like when I first started dating my ex, he lived in another city. So we would see each other every weekend, maybe every other weekend, and maybe one day through the week, right? So there were days that we got to be independent and we got to miss the other person. So there you were excited, you know? And so to spend so much time with somebody right out of the gate, which Alex and I did, you know, like he said at one point, like, "You're not even giving me a chance to miss you." And I think that that is important. I really do, right? So I just think it kind of depends on the relationship. Do I think that I was smothering to Alex to some degree? Yeah, absolutely I do, you know? Do I think that he was in some ways as well? Yeah, sure, absolutely. I think we both were, you know? Do I think we were probably codependent on each other in unhealthy ways? Yeah, and I think that has a huge issue as to why we ended up in marriage counseling. You know, I think to some degree we didn't know where one ended and the other began, and that wasn't healthy for us, and we needed our own independence and our own lives, you know, and I'm so grateful that marriage counseling has led us to be able to have that today and then appreciate the time that we have together, because for me, that's how I define a healthy relationship. As far as letting somebody off easy, you know, I don't know that I think that there's being cruel, and there's just saying, "I'm done with you, I don't want anything to do with it anymore, you know, blah, 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 like, I can't handle you, you're too much." Like, we don't need to go there, right? I think other than that, to be kind about it and just say, I mean, you're 5 days into this relationship, it's not like you've been dating for 5 years. That would be a completely different story, you know? To say, to be honest with you, like, you seem like a really nice person, and maybe even be honest with them and just say, it's a lot for me too quickly. You know, like you're telling me that you're falling in love with me, and to be honest with you, like, hey, I really appreciate that's really nice, but like, it's a lot for me, honestly. Like, I'm not used to that, and I'm gonna have to, because I think it is important to allow people to know, like, well, what happened, so that they don't go forward wondering, well, what did I do? What did I do wrong? What happened? Whatever, right? So to say to them, like, you know, like, hey, like, these words that you're using, this kind of stuff, you don't have to say codependency, but you can say, like, you know, you're telling me that you're falling in love with me at 5 days. Like, this is kind of scary to me. Like, this is a lot. Like, I'm not used to this, you know? And for that reason, I think that I need to back up a little bit, and I need to distance myself from you. And in all honesty, like, I think you're a really nice person, and I hope that you find somebody, but I don't think that I'm that person. And I think that we should probably discontinue having any kind of communication at this point for both of us, you know? And I wish you the best, and I think you're a great guy, and I don't think that's a mean thing or a cruel thing to say. I think that's an honest thing to say, you know? Now, I can tell you that sometimes people don't like honesty and they don't like directness. That's definitely something that I've learned in my life, you know, that when I'm honest or I'm direct, that is perceived sometimes as me being a bitch. And that's okay, you know? Like, I'm fine with that, because then I don't have to go back when then people 2 years later go, well, I don't understand why we're not talking anymore, because I can say, well, I told you, you know? People don't have to wonder about it, you know what I mean? I can remember when I would date people back in the day, and I mean, it didn't happen a lot, because I feel like most times that I would go on a date with somebody and there wasn't mutual feelings and things like that, you know? And God love you people that, like, meet online. Like, I have never done, like, you know, like, I saw Alex out, I found him on MySpace, and that was how I contacted him. But really, our whole relationship kind of took place, like, in person. Like, it was never really online. Like, that was just how, like, I contacted him originally. But I had seen him out, and so I had talked to him out, and we talked out and things like that, right? Like, out at bars. You know, I've made this very clear a lot that if Alex and I ever broke up, I don't really know if I would ever date again, in all honesty. Not because I wouldn't want to. I think there's so much that goes into it, like of meeting the families and meeting the friends and things like that. There's so much investment that goes into it. I also think that I'm not the kind of person that's going to get on any kind of app. I've never been on an app, which is, you know, it's so funny to me that people use my pictures for all these dating apps and things like that. I've literally never been on an app. I've never been on Scruff or Grindr or, you know, I've never been on any of those dating apps, those gay dating apps. I've never been on Tinder or Plenty of Fish or any of this. I've never been on any of them, you know. I've never been on the online things. So for me, that would be in a completely different world. And I think I'm so uncomfortable with that I wouldn't do that. I mean, because of my social anxiety, but because of other things. So I think, like, congratulations to you guys that can meet people online, right? So there's that. But I think the other thing is, that, you know, back in the day, there were a few people that I would go on dates with, and, like, I wasn't, like, a huge dater. Like, the other thing is, I can't date 2 to 3 people at the same time. Like, if I'm gonna go on a date with somebody, I'm gonna go on a date with somebody, and as long as I'm interested in that person, I'm only gonna just date one person. Like, I'm not a person that can date 2 or 3 people at a time. I have a lot of friends of mine that can. I'm not that person. Like, I have to give somebody my all attention, because what I ultimately want is a long-term relationship, right? So, I want to, you know, there were a couple dates where I wasn't interested and the person was confused as to why I wasn't interested, and I would just be honest with them, and I would say, you know, in all honesty, like, I just don't feel it. Like, I'm not feeling it, you know, and it has nothing to do with you personally. It's just like, you know, you're a cute guy, and, you know, I had a great time and it was fun, but I'm just not feeling it, right? And there was, like, one situation where the guy was upset about it and was kind of like, well, I don't really understand, and you think you're so grand. And I'm like, it has nothing to do with me thinking that I'm grand or that I'm, you know, whatever. It just is, this isn't a fit for me, you know, like, it is what it is. And I don't own that. Like, that's his stuff, not mine, right? Like, I'm not going to be with somebody out of pity, and I wouldn't want somebody to be with me out of pity, you know? So I think that you got to just be honest with this person and say, hey, listen, like, this is a little too little. This is a lot so fast, and I can't handle it, you know? And I wish you the best, and you seem like a nice guy, and I hope you find somebody else, because there is somebody out there that will match him, you know? That if he says, I love you at 5 days, they'll say, I love you at 5 days. Trust me, there's somebody out there that will match that. So that was the first comment that I wanted to address. The second comment that I wanted to address, hold on a second, is about journaling. Okay, so this person said, hi Peter, longtime subscriber and silent viewer here. I had a request for a video if you're up for it. My mom just got me a really nice journal for my birthday. That's so cool. I love that. My mom used to always get me journals. My birthday this week. Happy birthday, by the way. And I know in the past you have touched on some lists or journaling you do every day for gratitude and such. I am also in therapy right now, so I was hoping you could make a video on what you journal to help your mental health and how you go about it. I have really admired you and your journey for several years. I look up to you and how much I have seen you grow and change for the better over time. So any inspiration from you would mean the world to me. Much love. Okay, well, thank you so much for the message, and happy birthday, and congratulations for being in therapy and your journaling and all that kind of stuff. Okay, in all transparency, I am not journaling right now. I don't keep a journal. It's been something that I said I was going to do for months and months and months. I was going to keep a gratitude journal and all that kind of stuff. I keep notes from here to there. Like, every once in a while, I'll write out a gratitude list when I feel like I need to do it. Every night, I do a, out loud, I do a, you know, a oral gratitude list, and then, you know, and talking to my sponsor on the phone, I talk a lot about the things I'm grateful for and whatever. But I don't do an active gratitude list every single day. I need to. When I do, I am much happier and whatever. It's, to be honest with you, it is complete laziness is the only reason that I'm not right now. Now, I will say, I've never been somebody that has been a huge journaler. Like, my mother was a huge journaler. Like, she journaled from, like, the age of 18 on, like, every single day. Like, this is what I did, blah, blah, blah. It was a press conference, which for me, in retrospect, has been very interesting to read her journals and find out things. I've never been that kind of person. When I was drinking a lot, I kept extensive journals for a period of time. When I got sober, I found those journals and I burned them because it was like chicken scratch, and I didn't want to, and it was like they were so angry and bitter, and I was so mad at so many things, and my perception of things was so wrong, and I can remember reading them, and it was just like, ugh, like I just had such a weird feeling reading them. I was like, this is not who I am, and I just didn't want them around anymore. I ended up burning them. The lists that I keep, I try to make lists that are kind of like visual imagery boards or whatever they're called, you know, like manifestation things. Like, these are the goals that I want to achieve in July, or these are the things that I want in my life in the next year, my, you know, of being 51. I want to, be in the best weight of my life, the best health of my life, and be the most productive. I want to read over 100 books or something like that. Like I come up with all these like lists of things like that. The one thing I immediately thought of when you mentioned this was the book Magic by Rhonda Byrne. The book Magic by Rhonda Byrne, which I've done several times on this channel. I think I've done it twice on this channel. And I could do it again, like in November if you guys wanted to. I feel like the last time I did it, I was kind of like, okay, I'll probably never do this book again. But every day that you do it, you make a list of, I think it's 10 things that you're grateful for. And each day they have to be something specifically different. It also has other exercises in there that you do every day of things that you practice. And it's, I believe, 28 days of gratitude. I would highly recommend this book, especially if you want to get a good start on doing a gratitude list in a journal. The book Magic by Rhonda Byrne, she's the one that wrote The Secret. I would highly, highly recommend it. In fact, my husband a couple years ago said, the happiest you've ever been was when you were doing that book. And I truly believe that it was because I was literally practicing gratitude 24 hours a day, It was such a phenomenal book. And I know that there are many of you out there that watch this channel that did that book with me. And that, for that reason alone, is why I need to keep a written gratitude list every single day. So thank you for bringing this up, because this is inspiring to me. I have so many notebooks in there that I'm like, okay, pull one out, just start doing a gratitude list every day. There's no reason not to, right? And one of the things that I learned from that book was to make a gratitude list, and then each day it has to be different things from the day before. Like you can't just like, I'm grateful for my mom, and then the next day put, I'm grateful for my mom, and the next day, each day it has to be different things that are specific to that day, maybe, or like, I'm grateful for clean water, and then you say it out loud. You read your gratitude list out loud after you've done after you're done writing it, and then you say thank you, thank you, thank you, and it's to like pay it back to the universe of your gratitude that you have for these specific things that you were given. The other thing that I would do, especially since you're in therapy, is I would, because I've done this at certain times of therapy with myself, having a therapist, is see if your therapist will like just take your journal in with you and say, can you give me like a prompt for like, I don't know, 4 days or 7 days of each day maybe of the week, and say, okay, on Monday, write about, I don't know, your favorite childhood memory. On Tuesday, write about, a family member that let you down. On, Wednesday, write about the best Christmas present you've ever been given. And just ask if they'll give you some writing prompts. The other thing that you can do is you can Google search journal writing prompts. There are fantastic articles and just different things that are out there where it will just have literally just like one after another of journal prompts to write about. And I think there are even articles where it's like journal prompts for women prompts, PROMPTS, like, and ideas for getting started journaling for women over 30, or prompts for women in recovery, or prompts for men in grief, or prompts for widowers, or prompts for recently graduated college students, or there's probably all kinds of things out there that you guys can find. So I would highly recommend that. I have to tell you, probably the coolest journal that I ever saw, I don't even remember whose it was, I saw it years ago, and it was like they like wrote little things, like they would kind of like throughout the day, they would like write down like 1 o'clock, or, or we went to brunch today at 2:30. So like 2:30 went to brunch, 4 o'clock made videos. And then they put like a little cup of coffee, they would draw like a little cup of coffee next to the brunch. And then, next to like the videos, they would put like a little movie, like a camera. And they had all these different pictures drawn next to it. And then they would like on the side, they would say like, it would just be so random. It would be like TV shows I want to watch, or like movies that I haven't seen in forever. And they would just like keep these random, like, they made their journal so their very own that it really spoke of their soul. And I can remember like seeing it and just being like, oh my God, this is like the coolest thing ever. Like they carried it with them everywhere, and they used it, and they had, different colored pens and markers and stuff. And it just was really spoke of who they were, and if I kept a journal on a regular basis, that would be what I would want to do. So maybe I need to keep a journal. Maybe I've said for a long time that I wanted to. I just didn't know how I would make it my own, and maybe that's what I need to do. I don't know. So thank you for asking that question and inspiring me. But I would definitely start with doing a gratitude list. I think it's a great way to start with journaling at all. And you can start with 3 things, or 5 things, or 10 things, or whatever. And if you're looking for a good structured way to do some gratitude in your life, I would definitely recommend the book Magic by Rhonda Byrne, who wrote The Secret. It's fantastic. And yeah, so I hope that helps, and I hope that you guys like those answers to those questions. If you have other questions, please put it in the comment section below. I love you guys so much. I hope you're having a magnificent, amazing, magical, fun Sunday. I love you, and I Hope that you're getting rejuvenated, relaxed, renewed, and refreshed for the week ahead, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.